whole time. The microphone's been off this whole time. We are sorry, guys.
Wait, wait, no. I clicked it. And I clicked it just then too, but it still didn't work, so I
Yeah.
had to click it a second time. So
But hello,
all
welcome
that.
to Tuesday Talks with the Conways.
She is Courtney. And
This
I'm
is Chris.
Chris. Yes. So sorry about that, Radina. Thank you for commenting on that. And Joy, welcome. I know Joy's had a long day, so really glad to have you here. And yes, Joy just fixed it, so should have sound now. Thank you very much. What I was saying was it's going to be a really good topic, and also it's been a long month. There's 5 Tuesdays in this month. So lots and lots and lots of talking. But thank you, Radina, for letting us know.
Yes.
And glad to have you join. You've been having really wild, a long day. And Wayne, no, or Crystal rather. I'm sure it's probably Crystal watching this. Yes, no, it wasn't just you. And Naomi, glad to have you here, and all of our friends on Instagram. Now that we've gotten through that little technical blip of, I think
I saw him press it. It just didn't work.
we
So
probably we're talking for like a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
sorry, guys.
Yes, you're so sorry about that. So all the people on YouTube watching this later will be sitting there wondering why there's no sound.
Yeah.
Maybe we can edit that part out. But yes, this is going to be a really good topic. Feel free to comment. Like our regulars have been commenting, or if you're new, love to know who all is joining us for the first time. But also really really love and appreciate our regulars. Yes,
Yeah.
Crystal. Thank you. All right. If you want to introduce our wonderful topic this week.
Okay, so this week we are talking about when hunger strikes, and how to handle it. We have a lot to talk about, so hopefully we can get through it all tonight. If not, this might have to be a two-parter, because there's a lot to talk about. Because hunger is a big, guys. My hair is not working for me on here. Anyways, uh, keeps making it look funny. Anyways, it's a lot to talk about because hunger is something that everybody deals with.
Oh yes.
So and just talk about how to handle it, like whether you're really hungry, hunger cues, all those fun things.
Your hunger and your appetite can kind of help make or break your health. Okay.
Okay, is everybody back?
Can everybody confirm that you can see us? Um,
Mhm. Oh, we're back.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Our actual electricity just flickered.
Yeah, it's the
Um,
second time today. That's fun.
yeah, second time today. So the internet um is still rebooting, and actually I'm using the hotspot on my phone. So sorry about that.
Yay, technology.
So two, the first time it just didn't unmute it, and then the second time the internet flickered. Um, but yes,
Okay, hunger.
yes, hunger can make or break your whole atmosphere.
Hmm.
It can help you be successful, or it can also be what hinders you from being able to lose weight. Yes, Linda, so sorry about that. It probably froze at the most awkward moment too. It's always just so
Yeah.
inconvenient. But yes, trying to get back on track. So let's scroll up. Um so knowing when you're truly hungry is really going to be very important. So look for those actual hunger cues. Like
Hmm.
you might not want it all the time, but your stomach might be rumbling. You might have a slight headache. You might be a little bit tired. Those types of things. So look for actual cues
Hmm.
that you're hungry, because sometimes there might be some other reasons why you might feel hungry. Also, hunger can grow slowly on you and sneak up on you. So there are some days when days will fly, time will fly by, and we've not eaten much. And there are other days when we struggle and we eat too much.
Hmm.
But keep an eye on your hunger and make sure you don't let it get too big.
Yes, I can tell that the days that I work out, especially days that I strength train, I am so much more hungry those days. And I like, thankfully, I've gotten to know my hunger cues,
Hmm.
and can tell. Thanks, Joy. Uh, but sorry, I got distracted. But thankfully now I can kind of tell, but there are still times that I'm like, am I hungry? Am I bored? But definitely like the days you're more active, you're probably going to be more hungry
Hmm.
because you're going to need more calories on those days. The more active you are, the more calories you need. Also, the more you weigh, the more calories you need. So if you are larger, you will probably be hungrier than somebody that is smaller.
Hmm. And one thing that might be helpful to know is if you feel hungry and you're actually hungry, and when you go to eat something, you will feel satisfied.
Mhm.
So one thing that might be beneficial is if you've eaten kind of recently and you feel hungry, have a few bites of something and then wait a few moments and then see how you feel, because you might not actually be hungry. There are some other things, reasons for that as well. So try to distinguish actual hunger with other triggers.
Yes, I can tell the difference between being bored and when I'm actually hungry because like you said, I will be satisfied. If I'm hungry, I will get full. If I'm bored or if I'm having a binge moment where I'm just eating everything, I'm like a bottomless pit. There's no stopping me.
Hmm.
So I can definitely tell like, oh, I've had a lot to eat and I'm still not full. Maybe I should stop eating. I'm probably not actually hungry. And I know at this point like how much it takes to get me full.
Hmm.
And some days obviously I'm going to need a little bit more, but I can tell if it's like, "Ooh, I think I'm binging. I need to stop." Like, I'm not actually hungry.
Hmm. Because at that point, if your eating is not giving you satisfaction, then there's no point to it. So if you can try to curb that as much as possible,
Mhm.
that will help you be more successful. Sometimes you might just need an emotional
Yeah,
check-in.
just, like, ask yourself. Like, you really need to get down to it and just be like, "Hey, am I bored? Am I actually hungry? Am I eating because I'm stressed? Is this just a habit? Like, am I eating just because it's 2 o'clock and I feel like at 2 o'clock I should eat or at noon
Hmm.
I should eat? Because sometimes we feel like, especially when it comes to like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, we
Hmm.
have to eat at those certain times.
Yep.
Sometimes you're not hungry. Sometimes I'm not hungry at, I normally eat lunch or breakfast around 8. Sometimes I'm not hungry at 8.
Hmm.
And don't eat just because, I mean, obviously, like if you don't have time to eat for another 3 or 4 hours, eat. But if you have time later on to eat, don't eat just because you feel like it's the time.
Hmm.
Eat when you're hungry.
Absolutely. Um, and then also ask yourself, maybe, we're big proponents, and we've had a whole series on hydration. Sometimes
Mhm.
you might actually be thirsty.
Yep.
Your body will have a similar sensation. Granted, the more obvious sensations of being thirsty, it's kind of a dry mouth,
Mhm.
but your body will still crave those hydrating foods. as well. So you might just need to drink some water. So one of the things that I like to do sometimes is even before a meal, when I know that I'm hungry, is I like to drink a glass of water just so I can get that in me. And then if it's snack time and I'm like, oh, I'm not really hungry anymore. Maybe that was just my body's way of telling me that I
Mhm.
was thirsty. But also having the glass of water or that drink before a meal also just helps me feel fuller a little bit more
Mhm.
faster too.
Yeah, sometimes, I'll ask him, like, "Are you satisfied? Are you full?" And he's just like, "I don't know, I need to drink some more water," because he knows, like, I've had enough food at this point, and I probably need to just drink some water to kind of finish filling me up. Sometimes when or when I think I'm hungry, but I'm actually bored, I will have a sparkling water. One, it's sweeter, so it almost gives me that, like, feeling of because when I'm bored eating, 99% of the time, I'm gonna want something sweet anyways, so it
Hmm.
gives me that sweetness for my sweet tooth, but the carbonation also helps me feel a little full if I do, like, it just kinda helps. So
Hmm.
sparkling water is a really good idea, but then it will also help with my hydration if I do need some water.
Absolutely. Enjoy mentions mindful eating. I'm a big supporter of
Mhm.
mindful eating. Um, Stopping when you're full. If you planned a whole meal and you're full
Yeah.
halfway through it, put that away
Mhm.
for another time. Or if you're hungry, don't just wait just because there's not time to eat. Eat. So listen to your body, but look for the real cues.
Yes, we used to be real bad about like we would finish a whole meal even if we were full just because it was there and we felt
Hmm.
like we were being wasteful if we didn't eat it all. Now we don't. Like we'll either bring leftovers home or we're just going to throw it away because it's going to be wasting food. If you don't need that food, you're wasting it regardless.
Hmm.
Whether you're throwing it away or whether you're putting it into your body and you don't need it.
Hmm.
So either way you're wasting it. So listen to your body, listen to your hunger cues and try to know when you're satisfied. It sometimes takes a while to learn if you're used to overeating, if you're used to eating past full or past satisfied, it
Hmm.
takes a little while to recognize it. It took me a while.
Hmm.
And I still have times where we'll go to like our favorite Korean barbecue place and I know I'm satisfied, but I'm going to keep eating. And I know I shouldn't do it, but there are still times that like I struggle with it after 5 years of being on this journey. So it's
Hmm.
hard.
Oh yeah, and another point that Courtney wanted to bring up earlier is this journey is a health
Mhm.
deficit. You're probably going to be hungry more often than not.
If you're in a calorie deficit, it's very normal to feel hungry more than you're used to, especially if you're used to eating in a surplus of calories, like more calories than you need. Your
Mhm.
body's used to that. Our body, before we went on this deficit, this health journey, we were probably, I'm not even exaggerating, probably 3, 4, 5,000 calories a day.
Mhm.
Your
Or
body's
more.
used to that.
Yeah.
So when you suddenly cut it down to say 2,000, 2,500, something like that calories a day, your body's gonna be like, hey, where's my food? And so you almost need to train your body to get used to less food so you're not hungry all the time. At first, you're probably going to be hungry all the time. And I hate saying that because some people do not want to hear that, but it's true. You're going to feel hungry a lot when you first start your health journey, especially if you're used to eating way in surplus of calories.
Mhm.
You're just gonna feel hungry, but you can train your body to really listen to those hunger cues. And we're also gonna talk about a few ways to kind of help your meals make you a little bit more satisfied
Mhm.
to where when you're in a calorie deficit, you do feel less hungry.
Mhm. And we've talked about this multiple times that your metabolism is kinda like a fire.
Mhm.
You want to keep feeding the fire a little bit to keep it alive, but you don't want it to be a full, blown, huge fire. So keeping that and, Joy is also a really big, proponent for the smaller portions, 3 smaller meals, 3 snacks to get you throughout the day, those types of things, because hunger can lead to cravings. So if you don't have and,
Mhm.
and, and feed that fire throughout the day, you're gonna get you hungry.
Whenever I'm super, super, super hungry, and he'll ask me, like, if we're going out to eat or something, he's like, "What do you want?" I'm always like, "Something unhealthy." If I let myself get to that point, that's why it's also important to know when you're hungry so you know when to eat, so you don't
Hmm.
forget to eat. Because if I get to that point, I don't want anything healthy. I want the most unhealthy thing I can think of, and that's all I want. But once I get something, even if it's something healthy, I'm satisfied. But once I get to that point where I'm over hungry and I'm just like, I need food now, if he asks me where I want to go, somewhere unhealthy.
Hmm.
Give me Five Guys burgers any day. Like, yeah.
Yep. So make sure that you're eating throughout the day so you
Mhm.
don't get to the point where you're making bad decisions. Because you're also going to be more than likely to eat a higher calorie item, higher in sugar, higher in fat, and it will take you off plan. So having those planned snacks and those planned smaller meals throughout the day will help you to not get to that point.
Yes, because when you are extremely hungry, you sometimes tend to overeat, eat more than you need. Because sometimes when you're super hungry, you just kind of scarf the food down because you're like so hungry. The
Hmm.
slower you eat, the more you can
Yes.
recognize when you're full, when you're satisfied. That's one thing I've had to teach myself is to eat slower, take breaks in between bites, because then I can really, really recognize when I'm satisfied. That like at the Korean barbecue place when I said I overeat, normally I don't realize I'm full until they give us that break, and I'm like waiting for more meat or something to come, and I'm like, oh, I'm full. But while I'm like just scarfing it down, I don't notice that I'm full.
Hmm.
And then I'm like sick to my stomach once I realize.
Yep, and Linda brings up a really good point. Linda says she exercises so much throughout the day, her work day, that she's always
Mhm.
feeling like food, feeling thinking about food, and feeling hungry, and that is normal to a certain extent. The more you move, you are definitely going to need
Yeah.
more food. You're still going to be in a calorie deficit with all that movement, but and that's where you might need to plan your snacks out a little bit more.
Yes. I have that problem, especially when we go work out in the morning. I am so hungry all day long.
Hmm.
So those days that I know I'm going to be moving my body more, I'm going to be more hungry. I purposefully plan so many snacks. I have my lunchbox packed with high protein, high fiber, filling snacks, and I might not eat them all, but I have them all. I track them all immediately. And if I don't eat them, I just take them off my tracker, but I have them all there ready to go if I need them because I
Hmm.
know I'm going to be more hungry. So maybe try to plan some higher protein snacks or just, smaller things. We've talked about me with my grapes. I'll have a bag of grapes and I'll just graze on them all day. But having that bite every like 3 or 4 minutes, even if it's just one grape, it
Hmm.
helps me feel less hungry. But it also helps me from boredom eating because I'm constantly having something in my mouth, even if it's just one grape every 3 or 4 minutes.
Hmm. And then Joy has another really good comment that she says she takes a bite, puts her fork down physically, chews all her food, then picks up the fork again. And that kind of mindful
Uh-huh.
mentality of eating your food is going to make sure that you are actually full. Chewing your food actually will help aid in digestion and also triggers cues that you're full too.
Yeah.
So those are really really good things. And she also mentions high protein breakfast. We've mentioned her breakfast multiple times on our posts in our podcast, but high protein breakfast and any meals in general are going to be really really filling for you.
Yes, absolutely.
Good. And it's a struggle, especially with
Uh-huh.
us
Even
doing.
with the protein, it can be a struggle for
Well,
us.
not
I
only that,
totally
just
get
that,
it.
but our strength training, we have to have so much protein, and it's so hard to find high protein snacks all the time. So that's why we're always looking for the next protein bar, the next protein snacks, because who wants to be drinking protein shakes all day or eating
Mhm.
just just meats? So it is fun and interesting and challenging to try to find those really good high protein snacks. We're big supporters of the cottage cheese industry, so
Yeah.
maybe we can be sponsored by some dairy farms or
Yeah.
something like that. But we love our cottage cheese and
Mhm.
our high protein milk.
Yep.
And eating too slow can slow down your metabolism and be counterproductive. So that is also something that's going to be equally as important too.
Mhm. Yes, and some tricks to help with hunger is to eat smaller portions throughout the day. We've already talked about that. Also, like we've already said, eat high protein and fiber meals and go for volume eating. Eat something that you can have more of for less calories. Salads are great. Any sort of vegetable or
Mhm.
fruit. You'd be surprised how much like fruits or vegetables you can have for just 100 calories, most of them, like a
A
ton.
lot of fruits and vegetables are full of water, so that helps you with the volume, but that also helps you with the hydration too.
Mhm. Yep. Eggs, you can have a lot of eggs for, especially if you do the is it egg whites?
Egg
The egg
whites,
white.
but mix some cottage cheese in there.
Yes, cottage cheese. My favorite snack right now is mixing protein or dipping protein chips in my cottage cheese. That right there is so filling and it's like almost 40 grams of protein.
Hmm.
It's crazy. But yes, higher protein volume eating. We have a whole a whole podcast just about volume eating. So,
Yeah, so one of our current obsessions is the wild chips. They're made out of chicken breast, and then also
but we also have our Quest
our
chips right
Quest
here
chips
too.
too.
So.
But she'll dip these in
Cottage
the
cheese. That
cottage
was my
cheese.
snack today at work.
Yes. This is not my favorite flavor though. It's
That
just
one's good in cottage cheese, but this is the perfect texture
yes.
for cottage cheese dipping. The Quest chips are delicious in cottage cheese, but they kind of fall apart. So
Yep, tend to get maybe a little bit more soggy.
and those chips are made out of chicken.
Yes.
She just Joy just mentioned chicken and cottage cheese. They're made out of chicken. That might be why they're so good in the cottage cheese. So.
Absolutely. But also just planning out your
Yeah.
snacks and meals. When we know we're having a busy day and you know you're hungry and you're like, I just had a snack, but you've got more snacks planned. Make sure they're planned. Make sure they're portioned out. But knowing they're in, you've got them, will also be good for your mind.
And one thing that you can also do that I have done and I've seen some people do that my mom just said cottage cheese is gross. But you can if you know like you're constantly thinking about food, you're constantly hungry, take those snacks and divide them up. Like take one protein bar and cut it into like 4 pieces and every like 10 minutes have that little bit. It does help. Like I know like sometimes it's hard to stop at just that little piece, but if you have them portioned out, have a portion of your protein chips into like 2 portions and then say like I'm going to eat half of it now and half of it in 30 or 45 minutes. That might help get your mind off of constantly being hungry and planning it out that way, planning that I'm going to make my protein bar last 3 or 4 times instead of just one time. That might help. Um, so, but plan out your day, plan out your snacks, and it does help. And also, we talked about this before though, if you legitimately are hungry, eat. Don't not eat
Oh yes.
just so you can be in a calorie deficit. If you're legitimately hungry, if you've gone through all this and you're like, I'm not bored, I'm not stressed, I'm not thirsty, I'm legitimately hungry, eat.
Absolutely. And we probably mentioned this almost on every podcast. Mental health is super important, so try to keep that in check. We have a tendency to overeat if we're stressed or we have anxiety. So keeping on top of that as much as you can will help minimize those
Yes.
things.
And actually sometimes it's the opposite. Um I have heard that some women, I don't know why it's specifically women, that go on anxiety medications tend to eat more afterwards because they're not as stressed out. Fun fact. So sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes people don't eat because they're stressed. So just make sure that whether you're
Mhm.
eating or not eating, that you just know what's going on up here.
Mhm. And then just so keep an eye on your mental health to make sure that it doesn't impact your eating and impact your health. If you haven't, I was reading these notes earlier and I couldn't remember what I meant by this, but if you have a moment, if you overeat, or you binge, just take a moment, pause, and try to minimize as much as possible. If you catch yourself, halfway through your binge session or a quarter of the way into the binge session, you kind of end that and minimize the losses there.
Yes, just a moment of accountability and honesty here to show you guys you're not alone. Last Wednesday, I volunteered at a consignment sale, and in the staff room, there was a massive Sam's Club size thing of Reese's pumpkins. Y'all know Reese's are my weakness. When I tell you, every time I walked in that room, I had 2 or 3 of those Reese's pumpkins. I'm not even exaggerating when I said by the end of the night, I probably had about 30 of them. 30. I was still down on the scale the next day though. And I walked 13,000 steps around that place that day. But I'm saying this to say I was not hungry any of those times I walked in that room. It was just there. Sometimes you're going to need to get rid of some of the stuff that you have, even though I'm a big I'm all big into moderation, all that stuff. But sometimes you can't have that stuff around if you can't decide whether you're hungry or bored or just eating it because it's there. Sometimes you need to just have it away. Chris has to hide the Reese's from me sometimes. So just know your triggers, especially if it's something that you tend to binge on, like Reese's pumpkins. So.
And that spinach cheese casserole that Joy mentions on Facebook
Is it fresh
delicious.
spinach, Joy? Like fresh, like in the bag, or like canned, or like frozen? Because I want to make that.
Yep, that sounds delicious. We're running a little low on time. I honestly don't know how much of it we wasted with the internet, but
We only have 2 more
Do you want to go ahead and talk about this real quick?
Yeah, we can make it super
Yep.
quick.
So environmental cues can be really big. So if you know you're going to go somewhere
Mhm.
that have those yummy smells, like if you're going to go to the mall that has a food court, or you're going to go to the fair that has, smelling, yummy smelling funnel cakes and those types of things, go prepared with healthy snacks, or go prepared being full to help you
Mhm.
not be overly tempted to have one of those unhealthy things. And don't skip meals.
Yeah.
That's a really, really big
Yes, do
thing.
not skip meals.
Frozen
Frozen
chopped.
chopped.
Perfect.
That was Yep. Okay. Our recipe. I'm very excited about this one.
Really, really delicious. So let's share the recipe.
Buffalo chicken dip. This is so, so good. I love buffalo chicken dip. I will sometimes just take this and put it in a wrap or on a quesadilla. It's so good. But I think this is made in a casserole dish, but you can throw it in the crock pot if you want to. 8 ounces of light cream cheese or fat-free. I just like the light because the textures are a little different. 3/4 cups of buffalo wing sauce. We like the reds because it's 0 calories, all that fun stuff. There's also a really good one from Dollar Tree that tastes almost just like it, which is crazy. 1.5 cups of reduced fat sharp cheddar shredded cheese, 1 ounce, which is 1 packet of ranch seasoning, and a pound of cooked chicken breast, rotisserie chicken breast, canned chicken, whatever you can find. Preheat the oven to 375. Shred your cooked chicken. You can also use two of the larger, like 12 point something ounce cans of canned chicken. Mix everything in a bowl except for a half a cup of the shredded cheese. Pour the mixture into a square baking dish or 9 by 9, whatever. Float your little boats. Top with the rest of the cheese. Bake it for 25 to 30 minutes until it's nice and bubbly. Serve with chips, crackers, veggies, whatever your heart desires. This makes 12 servings because this is more of like a party food, like appetizer. Like I said, you can put this on quesadillas. You can make it bigger. I have mixed this with pasta
Oh,
and made like a buffalo chicken pasta before.
so good.
So good. But this is keep in mind this is like a party food serving, like it's a smaller serving. 3 to 5 bites, 170 calories, 6 net carbs, 18.8 grams protein.
Yes.
And I have also done where I have added blended cottage cheese instead of cream cheese. It has a different texture. So it's
It's
not
not
gonna be
quite
as
as
thick.
creamy.
Yeah, it's not gonna be as creamy or as thick, but it's still delicious if you want to add more protein using the cottage cheese instead of the light cream cheese.
Absolutely. But it is delicious. And as usual, it'll be shared on Facebook and Instagram, but also it's on the healthy blog post as well. So catch this recipe and any other recipes that we've shared in the past.
Yep.
But thank you so much for bearing with us with our
Technical
mute
difficulties.
issues, our brownout, and internet issues. But thank you so much for joining us this week. We will see you next week in October. It is
Yes.
the second Burr month.
Spooky month.
Yes, it is Catherine's favorite month of the
She
year.
loves
She
October.
loves Halloween. So thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next week. Have a good one.
Bye guys.
Bye.